Today, we're going to talk about the deep psychology behind the choice to stay home, why for so many of us it feels less like a choice and more like a necessity. Let's start with a feeling you might know really, really well. That moment you finally cancel plans, and that wave of pure relief just washes over you. It's not just about freeing up your calendar, is it? It's something much, much deeper than that. It's never been about hating people. Not at all. It's about a quiet, powerful need for a space that just feels safer. It's the one place where all the noise, both outside and inside your head, can finally just go quiet. And from the outside, people might draw their own conclusions, right? Maybe they think you're boring or flaky or just plain antisocial. But the real story has nothing to do with any of that. The real story is about what your brain is doing behind the scenes. It isn't resting, it's working incredibly hard.
And this right here, this is the fundamental misunderstanding we need to talk about. So let's explore that huge gap between how the world sees this need for quiet and what's actually happening inside.
You've heard these voices before, haven't you? Sometimes from other people, and sometimes, maybe even worse, from that critical voice inside your own head. Each one of these little judgments feels like a suggestion that your very nature is somehow wrong. But is that true? Is it really about being afraid or antisocial? Or is it possible that you've just never been handed the right words to describe your own internal experience? So, what is the real story? Well, psychology tells a completely different and, frankly, a much more interesting story. See, this isn't about what you're avoiding. It's about what your brain is constantly managing. This really gets to the heart of it. On one side, you have the labels society uses: antisocial, afraid, boring. And on the other, you have the reality of what your brain is doing. It's filtering, it's processing, and it's recharging. Every one of those labels is just a complete misunderstanding of a very complex and very necessary internal job. So let's talk about that word filtering. Think of it like this. Most people go through the world with a pretty standard filter for all the noise. But for people like you, it's more like you're operating in high definition. You pick up on everything: the subtle shift in someone's tone, the background hum of electronics, the unspoken emotional energy in a room. Staying home isn't shutting life out. It's giving your system the quiet space it needs to sort through all the extra data it's collecting. So where does a trait like this even come from? Well, it doesn't just appear out of nowhere. It's often forged in our earliest experiences, long before we even have the words for it. It often starts in a world that just felt too loud. Maybe you learned early on that it was safer to be the quiet observer than the center of attention. You learned to watch, to listen. Over time, your nervous system simply adapted. It learned that home was the one and maybe the only place where you could truly let your guard down and recover. And when you look at it that way, it makes perfect sense. Now, here's where it gets really interesting. Because what the world often sees as a limitation is actually directly tied to a set of profound strengths. A mind like this comes with some serious hidden powers. Think about it. Because you spend so much time processing, you naturally develop a very high level of self-awareness. You have a rich, complex inner world, and this leads directly to things like deeper creativity, higher emotional intelligence — you can read a room like nobody else — and a natural gift for strategic, big-picture thinking. These aren't just personality quirks, they're the superpowers of the quiet observer. And you're in very good company here. So many of history's great thinkers, artists, and innovators, they needed solitude. They were homebodies because they had to be. That quiet sanctuary was where they did the work of connecting the dots that no one else could even see. But we do have to be honest with ourselves. There's a very important line to be aware of. When does this comfortable sanctuary start to become more of a cage? Let's look at the difference. Solitude is a strength. It's something you choose. It recharges your batteries. It brings you clarity. Isolation, on the other hand, is a warning sign. It's driven by avoidance. It doesn't recharge you, it drains you. It makes you feel numb. It's really about the feeling, isn't it? One feels like connecting with yourself. The other feels like disconnecting from life. So here's the simple rule you can use. Ask yourself, does staying home bring me clarity, or is it just an escape? If it's giving you clarity, that's a sign of strength. If it's pure escape, that might be a warning sign you need to listen to. So, what does this all add up to? For a person like you who thinks a little more deeply than most, what's the final takeaway? Please let this one really sink in. If anything we've talked about today has resonated, hear this. You're not broken. You're not failing. You're not antisocial. Your system is just built to experience the world with more depth. It's a feature, not a bug. And that's exactly why this channel exists. It's a space for people like you, people who think deeply, feel things quietly, and are trying to live more intentionally in a world that just keeps getting louder. If that sounds like you, you're in the right place. So always remember this. Your power isn't about how loud you are. It's about how clear you are. Not everyone is meant to be loud. Some of us are meant to be sharp.